oftentimes it's just something you wanted them to do. They may or may not have like had to do it right then or needed to do it right then, but you wanted to do them right then. And approaching it from the parent's perspective of curiosity, like, son, I realized that you didn't work on your paper that's due this week today. Something getting in your way of that. Just very out of a curiosity, not judgment. Like, how's your, what are you thinking about that paper? Is there something, is there anything you're struggling with? Or, if I can be a support, or we can find you support, and just really being curious instead of like, why haven't you done the paper? It's due in 3 days. How many of us have done that? We're all guilty of that.
Oh, yeah.
So a different approach like that, approach of curiosity, you're still coming at it. You're still, you're still the authority in the house, but you're coming at it from a point of wanting to really know why, but in a very gentle way, so you understand their perspective and their side of the story.
Exactly.
It's very effective.
We have to train ourselves to be more observant, because I think we are observant from our own perspective, and that causes judgment instead of being observant from a larger scope of what's going on with my child as well. That's how we ended up getting my son's diagnosis. I was so frustrated with him, and I had been praying, and I took a step back and I looked at him, and he was hunching over, and I said, "Does your back hurt?" And we found out he has Schuppen's disease, which causes hunchback. And yet he was hiding the pain. He was doing all these things and acting out because he himself didn't realize he was in so much pain. And so so true. It took me a long time to say, I have to take that step back instead of just snapping to think, why my child is doing the things they're doing. It may not even be related to what's going on and what's coming out.
Absolutely. And I noticed that parents, and this is just, you teach or train what you know. Right? It's what you know. So I'll give you an example, and I like to give this one. I was working with a client, I'm still working with her, and the first session, I always like to know, where are you putting all this information that you need to keep track of? When you have exams, when you're doing, anything that you need to write down, what are you putting that on, or where is it? And she said, well, I have a wall calendar over here on the wall. I said, oh, okay. Well, just tell me about that. And she said, well, I don't really use it. I said, so it's not working.
Right.
She said, no. I said, let's take it down and find something that will work. And, and probably mom with very good intentions bought the wall calendar. Maybe that's what mom uses, or buys a certain kind of planner, or we're going to do it on this thing. That's what works for mom, or that's what works for dad. Yeah. Never bothering to ask, hey, what works for you? Oh, I want a little planner that's pink with, every page is a day. Okay, great. Yeah. I can't tell you, it sounds so simple, but there's so many of those little simple things that I work on that make a huge difference. And I do keep track of it because it's their idea, their planner, what's working. I had another client whose mom worked with her on her, we call it, schedule blocking, where every hour of every day is filled up with something, but it's filled with meals and fun and all of that kind of thing too. So she was working with just the basics of that. And within about 3 days, the mom sent me the schedule, like, hey, what do you think about this? And within 3 days, my client, who is actually an 8th grader, sent me her version and said, that original version. And she did work with her mom, the original. And she said, you know what? I just realized that was not going to work for me. I didn't understand it. And so I modified it to this. And I'm like, that's what it's all about. Yes.